Hey, good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Melissa Frey here in the Alaska's Weather Source Weather Center. We have a lot going on across the state. 3 storms impacting Alaska either currently or in the next 24 hours. And we have the weekend to talk about. If you're making plans, it is almost here. Want to make sure that you are up to speed on that forecast. So thank you for joining me tonight. If you're watching on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, hop in the comments. Let me know, where are you watching from? What are the weather conditions like where you are, and what are you enjoying perhaps about this fall season? It was a nice summer, a nice beginning to fall, but it really is starting to feel like winter is just around the corner, and we do have some extreme weather to talk about. So let's get right to that weather forecast for you. This is one of the things that I love about forecasting weather in Alaska. Is not only is it extreme from time to time, but we get storms that haven't even developed that are going to bring significant impacts here in just the next 18 hours or so. Looking here in the northern Pacific, we have this area of low pressure which really hasn't even formed yet. It is in its infancy. I'll make this larger so you can see it. Again, the winds are starting to form in that little trough. We do have some cloud cover that's developing around this area of low pressure, but if you saw this and you're not a meteorologist, you go, I don't know, it doesn't look like there's much out there. Well, that is going to change here in just the next really 12 hours. That area of low pressure not only developing into a really strong storm system, but it is going to ride the jet stream right into southeast, arriving early tomorrow morning. So in Ketchikan today, we had some cloud cover. We had a few showers moving through, a typical September day in southeast. Again, not much to write home about there. Temperatures in the low 50s, but you could really call this the calm before the storm. Even seeing those clouds breaking up a little bit this evening in Ketchikan. Winds are calm out of the southeast, less than 10 miles per hour, but that is going to be significantly different as we head into tomorrow. So looking at the expected wind gusts, again, right now, not much there. We're not even seeing that area of low pressure anywhere close to southeast. But look what happens as we move into early tomorrow morning. Look how fast that area of low pressure develops. Again, sitting there, still well offshore at this point, but already seeing those winds ramping up in Ketchikan, in Sitka, seeing wind gusts between 30 and 45 miles per hour. And that storm is going to continue to lift to the northeast throughout the day. So here we are sitting just before that lunch hour and already seeing those winds ramping up to near 60 miles per hour in Sitka and Ketchikan, 50 miles per hour in Petersburg, and they continue to stay strong, again gusting between 60 and 70 miles per hour as that storm continues to lift to the north. Also, I want to point out that as the storm moves through, they're going to change, the wind is going to change direction based on where the placement of that area of low pressure is. So we'll start out with those winds coming in out of the southeast, but by the afternoon, those winds will be more coming in from the west and the southwest. So be prepared also for those winds to change direction as we head through the afternoon. By 11 o'clock, you can see there's already not much left to that storm as it moves on to the east and weakens as it does just past Juneau. So bottom line, high wind is on the way for southeast tomorrow. We do have a hurricane force wind warning that is in effect for those red areas. That is for the open water. We are looking at wind gusts in this area to hurricane force gust strength, which would be up over 74 miles per hour. And then also looking at the seas ramping up to around 35 feet in this area just because of those high winds in the area. And then everyone highlighted there in orange is under the high wind warning. That's going to kick off at about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, continuing through the evening. Again, you want to be prepared in those areas for those winds starting out in the southeast and changing over to the west, sustained consistently at 20 to 30 miles per hour, but then seeing those gusts ramping up to between 60 and 70 miles per hour. So that is certainly strong enough to bring down trees and power lines through the day tomorrow. Trees still have a lot of leaves on them. One other concern is, of course, the ground is extremely saturated as it has been nonstop rain. Again, well over 15 inches of rain in just the past 2 weeks in Ketchikan. So the ground is saturated. You have weight on these trees because of the wet leaves. We can see some of these trees coming down pretty easily with wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles per hour. So do be prepared for that. Again, if you are in those areas, highlighted in orange if you're a mariner, or excuse me, in red if you're a mariner, or in orange if you're going to be there further inland. Again, pretty extreme conditions there in southeast. Now in south central, we currently have an area of low pressure, but what's interesting is this is actually at the other end of the storm. So that one in the Pacific that's moving into southeast tomorrow, it is just beginning to form. But this one that's in Prince William Sound right now is just about done. It is ramping up, but as it continues to push north and east, we will see additional chances for those rain showers pushing back west of the Kenai Peninsula, and then also pushing into Anchorage and the valley. So with low pressure, you always get counterclockwise flow. And so depending on which side of the storm you're on, that shows you where the wind is going to be coming from. So because we're on the back side of this storm, Anchorage, Kenai, the valley, we have been seeing those winds coming in out of the north where it is drier. Quite the opposite though for Seward, for Whittier, across Prince William Sound, even pushing into Yakutat, Sitka, Juneau on the other side of that storm, where we are seeing that onshore flow. All of that moisture coming in off from the Pacific, bringing very wet conditions for those areas. So as this storm again pushes to the north and east, we will see increasing chances for showers moving back into Anchorage, into Kenai, and into the valley overnight tonight and into tomorrow. But again, I mentioned that storm is weakening as we speak, so there's not going to be a whole lot left to it. I do expect just light rain showers as we head through the day tomorrow. More cloud cover, and temperatures will drop as well because of that cloud cover. But again, for the coastal areas, you want to continue to be prepared for that heavier rain moving through. You can see about 1/4 inch of rain in Portage, about 1/2 inch of rain in Cordova. But look at southeast where we've had that more direct onshore flow. 2.5 inches of rain in Yakutat and over 1 inch in Sitka. So very wet conditions there. Further north in the interior, some light rain showers already today, and we'll see additional chances for light rain there again tomorrow. Still seeing wet conditions in Kodiak with about 1/3 inch. Also seeing wet conditions earlier today in Cold Bay. Okay, looking ahead, again, I mentioned we have 3 storms. That one that is currently in South Central, that one's fizzling out, and by Saturday morning, we will be done with that storm, back to dry conditions. But in southeast, you have that one pushing in here out of the Central Pacific, wet and windy conditions for you. And then there is also a third storm that at this point at 11:30 tomorrow morning is centered right about Bethel. It's first going to move across the Bering Strait and then down past Hooper Bay. We'll see those rain showers tomorrow in Bethel, even a few snowflakes possible for you there tomorrow morning, as temperatures will be dropping into the low 30s. And then we'll see that storm pushing right across Kodiak for showers as we head into Saturday morning. But I do expect this to stay well south of Anchorage. We will see some showers possible in Prince William Sound, but most of that energy again is headed, unfortunately, to southeast, where you just cannot catch a break. The rest of South Central and the western side of the state will see clearing conditions this weekend. Even some sunshine is on the way for Sunday. But you know what happens this time of year when we get clear skies? Those temperatures, they drop pretty quickly. So I do expect cooler conditions as we head through next week. You do want to be prepared for a pretty significant drop in temperatures. In fact, many of us here in Alaska will see our first freeze of the season. But first, here are those rainfall totals. Again, we will see those conditions again bringing heavy rain to the coastal areas of South Central and into Southeast. Be prepared for that. Again, another 1 to 3 inches of rain just through Saturday night for Southeast. Again, that's on top of the wind. Heavy rain pushing into Seward. Those lighter showers just on Friday for Anchorage, and we'll see those showers up into the interior. Otherwise, again, we'll see high temperatures topping out in the upper 40s and low 50s across South Central. Again, be prepared for those scattered showers moving across the area. Some light showers across the interior. Highs will be in the low 40s for Fairbanks, upper 30s for Healy. We have yet to see our first official freeze in Fairbanks this season. While it has dropped to that freezing mark in some areas of town, not at the airport. It's only dropped as low as 33 degrees. So again, it is right now the third latest freeze on record for Fairbanks. If we make it through tomorrow, which I do expect to happen, that will be the second latest freeze on record. If we make it all the way to Monday, which is a little iffy, that would tie the record for latest freeze on record. For southeast, you see that area of low pressure come barreling through. High temperatures will be in the low to mid 50s. Please be safe in southeast with both that combination of rain and wind. And if you're in an area that has steep slopes, I would also just be extra cautious. If you see any moving debris, rock sliding, unusual mud or water coming from an area that you don't typically see that, I would just watch out for the potential for landslides, because when we get rain like this combined with the wind, that's when we can see landslides coming down. So again, from Sitka into Ketchikan, where we see those high winds and we see trees potentially coming down, please do be extra cautious in those areas. Now for the slope, high temperatures just barely making it above that freezing mark. Relatively quiet down the west coast. You'll see high temperatures in the low 40s. Again, some showers pushing in across the southwest corner of the state, and still holding on to showers in the Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula, but we're not seeing the high wind like we were seeing there earlier this week. Okay, looking ahead to the next 7 days, the weekend is almost here and we will see sunshine, high temperatures back into the low 50s, but look at those overnight lows. It's getting cold. We're going to see temperatures dipping back down into the mid to upper 30s. But the cold air is here, but the rain is going to stay away next week. I do expect dry conditions from Sunday all the way into Thursday morning. A lot of sunshine to go around. So it should be a really beautiful end to September and kickoff to October, again, for Anchorage and the South Central region. For the interior, high temperatures dropping out of the 50s and back into the low 40s. Overnight lows, again, still above freezing tonight and tomorrow night. But then I'm forecasting a low temperature of 31 degrees for Sunday morning. At that point, we do have some showers still pushing through, so some snow rain mixes possible. More snow in the higher elevations is likely as we head into early Sunday morning, but then it clears out. Also seeing sunshine across the interior most of next week, but we hold on to that colder air well above freezing during the day, but dipping into those upper 20s overnight. So again, I do anticipate that first freeze of the season Sunday morning, if not Monday morning, which will be right there as one of the latest freezes on record. If you want to hear more about, again, those the freeze potential in the interior and what it has looked like over really the past 100 years or so and how that has changed, I worked with meteorologist Bailey Braun today on a story that's available now on alaskasnewssource.com about that date and how that has shifted and how we are seeing really a new normal for the interior. So if you're interested in that, check that out again here on alaskasnewssource.com. Otherwise, I do hope you have a great Friday. If you're in Southeast, please do stay safe. Otherwise, as we head into next weekend, we are going to see some nice conditions, especially by Sunday. And then as we head into next week, more sunshine is on the way with high temperatures in the low to mid 40s for Fairbanks and upper 40s for Anchorage. We are seeing a few sun breaks out there this afternoon. Lovely conditions. The view from Glen Alps. Again, those clouds are quickly rolling in here from the west. Thank you for joining me here on Alaska's News Source. We'll be back here tonight at 10 o'clock.